it has to be. I accept that. But in reality, that's not what's happening.
You're not going to get away with this.
I don't care, Merle. Here's the thing. I don't care to convince you. You're a retard that's unconvincible. You're allowed to have your stupid rants, but at the point you say enough stupidity, someone's got to step up and say that you're just full of shit.
You're not going to get away with this.
Yeah, Merle, you're stupid right now.
There's people listening to this.
I want to words with him.
Good. People who are listening, just hear me now. Merle is a fucking moron who has no understanding of orbital mechanics.
Merle, you see my guy entertainer on stage, you ain't fighting for nothing. What you fighting for?
So Mary,
you know what the amazing thing is, and Kosher, you don't need to talk.
You
know what the amazing thing is, and I want everybody to hear this. So stop rumpusing me, rocket scientist. The amazing thing is, I don't even need to understand orbital mechanics because all you need to do is demonstrate the fucking thing.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Don't, come on, let me ask you a question. I
totally agree with you on that.
Don't, let me ask a question. So if it does an orbit around the Earth, would it always come up from Antarctica?
No.
No, why?
Coriolis.
No, that's not why.
Well, whatever.
No,
conservation of momentum. Conservation of momentum, my bad.
No, it may come up from the south or it may come up from the north.
Oh, well, whatever, Chuck.
Take a globe.
Whatever direction you're looking at, what direction is going to appear to be coming up from.
Sure.
Don't forget,
Got any demonstrations, guys, besides gifts?
More northwest and
Merle,
southwest
that's what I've
than
been
north
trying
or
to say
south.
to you. That's what I posted to you, was a demonstration.
Merle, what the fuck would be adequate as a demonstration in your mind? Because, you know,
in my mind, in my mind,
would be adequate?
190-minute video, guys.
Mind.
190-minute video, all the way around, all the way around, all the way around.
Chase it.
Why don't you just insult me again and try to not provide a demonstration?
I've done both those.
Provided things that should be adequate, and you said provide a demonstration. It's like, okay,
so just provide one.
What about what we have provided does not?
Why are you stalling? Just provide a demonstration. Merle. There must be like heaps of demonstrations.
Yes, Mars, the sun, and the moon. Merle, go.
Rocket, you're not going to get away with this. Merle already told you what's up.
And Jeremy,
what about the one?
Like, you think you're any better tthan Merle? Do you think your opinion on what I think and what I do matters?
I agree with Merle.
Right, Jeremy, because watch this. Merle, all you got to do is provide the demonstration of the flat Earth. That's all you got to do.
Okay, guys. Merle, what do you think about the one I posted and tagged you
in? Is that a satellite, Kosher?
It's a demonstration of an orbit.
Kosher, you know full good and well none of that's good enough at this stage.
Yeah, I can't even try to look, Kosher. You know it's going to be something that's like half-ass, right? Come on, we know without even looking.
It's not half-ass at all. It's the original.
Like when you met with insults, Kosher. No, in all due respect, when you met with insults,
that's when they stitched them all together.
Insults after all these years.
That was the stitchy-roo. With the blending, why would they have to blend the video if they have the
becomes glaringly obvious what's going on?
Show the data files before they blended them. Show the files before they were blended.
What about those TV satellites? How can we? They exist.
Guess what? They're stationary.
They exist.
They don't move. But they don't move.
Have you ever seen one?
Me, no, not yet.
Satellites don't exist.
They say you could see them with night vision. And I'm serious about that. I know it's funny, but I hear that a lot.
No need for the insults, guys. It's just a
no one's fucking insulted you. You're just, you know,
I did. I admit that I did.
Okay, Rocket, I understand that you have, but
did you call me Rockia?
No, I said Rocket.
Oh, thank God. So that was going to be like the ultimate insult. Fuck.
All right, look. Bro, I don't want to believe you. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear your message when you send it. So when you ask the question, like, do we see a problem with it? I guess the message is that there's not like a continuous catalog of them, that it's just an anomalous photo. Is that what your message is, sir?
Well, it's really a nail in the coffin, and until someone can provide some evidence, they're not doing it.
You gotta elaborate. You gotta elaborate. I'm dumb. I'm dumb.
You have to be more. You have to. You can't just say, "Look at this. What the fuck is wrong with it?" You like, what do you think is wrong with it, Merle? Don't just say it's a nail in the coffin. Explain specifically what you think is wrong with it.
Have you not been paying attention to the chat?
No,
Merle?
I'm dumb. That's cool. Merle, you win. I'm dumb. That's cool.
I don't think you realize who you're talking to, mate. Sorry, just letting you know.
Here we go with the threats.
Oh, are you some kind of special super flat earther or something?
No,
dude, I told you I'll stand with you on these points. Do you hear me? Listen. Am I
I've been
halfway
around a long time, and I've never been provided with anything adequate that meets my basic request.
What the fuck is your basic requirements, dude?
It's not about anything.
That's your problem.
You're saying you just move the goalposts constantly? Is that what you're saying? Because that's what it sounds like.
Your only defense is just to call everything fake that's presented to you. That's your only defense.
All I met with is insults.
Merle,
so that's not a red
no, Merle, you haven't explained what's wrong with anything. You haven't fucking explained your position other than saying that this looks.
If you had something, you'd show it.
We have,
and you put me. You put me to bed, and that's what would happen. And you guys wouldn't be getting triggered and flapping around like drooling space monkeys you are.
Merle, there's a video posted of Orbit journey around the Earth in real time.
No, that ain't real time.
Orbit from a satellite view.
No, you got a real one from a satellite?
No, I want to know what he wants. Exactly how it should be done.
Look, it's okay, man. Well, we're not going to hold you to that phraseology from earlier. I just really thought there was a different anomaly you was going to show me that I hadn't seen before. But listen, want this strong proof, Merle? I'm going to stand with you on that, man. Okay? No one's insulting you on that.
Yeah, man,
don't worry. No, that's not true. I will.
I've got one.
Not on that point, you're not going to.
Here's one
being a dishonest prick.
This convince you, Merle, of anything. Have a look at this.
I mean, I feel like I'm in the same boat as Merle. I haven't been shown anything that would, meet my basic requirements.
Yeah, because you don't have any. Because you don't have any, Jeremy.
Where nothing will satisfy your requirements, nothing will satisfy your requirements. It's not our problem.
No, do you see that one? It's only a minute long.
Yeah, don't go to flat earthers to look for.
You guys,
they just want to lie to kids. They just want to lie to kids the way they've been lied to. Like, oh yeah, it's going over the curb, and you believed it as a child.
This is bullshit. This title right here, first of all, why does it say?
Well, what's wrong with it, Mel? What did you notice?
Why does it say uncut?
It's because it's not sped up. It's an hour and 32 minutes.
Right.
Which coincides with about a 93-minute orbital period.
Right, but one, it's not multiple frames per second video. It's slower photography that's blended. So two questions here. One, why isn't it just standard video? And two, where's the files before they were fucking blended? I'm telling y'all, man, I'm with y'all on all this, but this shit right here is suspect. Listen.
No. What do you mean by the files before they were blended?
It's suspect, man.
Wait, your claim that it's slowed down, but you have no evidence of this? It's just real.
We've looked into this. We've all looked into it. Got agreements on this in here before.
You asked for what? You asked for a video. You asked for a video from Orbit. Here it is. Yeah, it's boring because it's
fucking doctored bullshit.
It's not doctored. Things fly at a large speed, video. Yes, but the space is so big that it doesn't look like much is happening.
Go look into
this is the reality of
Go look into the blending. It's bullshit.
Yeah, you're making it up. You're making up bullshit as you're watching.
Rocket. I can't stand for that, man.
Do you have any evidence?
Real, Rocket. Keep it real.
Don, seriously, you sound like a lunatic.
Don, calm down.
I want to sound like a crying little girl right now. I want to sound like a crying little girl for Rocket. I'm crying.
Why is it 92 minutes?
I would replace that with a crying little bitch, but okay, go on.
All right, Don, did you see the one I posted, Don? Check this out. I saw
Don't change the subject.
Have a look. Isn't that in real time? Is that the one from Sean Dorgan?
It's in real time, exactly.
Yeah, it's frame rate,
real time. Yeah, what frame rate? Like, did you count the frames on this? Is it 24 frames per second?
142,000 frames per second, or it's not real?
I want 1 million frames per second.
25 or 30 is good. 1 is unacceptable.
10
this is 1 frame per second.
1 is also fine. What's wrong with 1?
Well, because 1
maybe you missed something in half a second. No. What?
Listen, the point is you have a live. You want to be a little bitch? You standing up for bitchery or something? Why don't you want to hear the truth? I'll be quiet with y'all. I've been quiet with y'all a long time. If I'm
just making claims, you should
respect it.
Show us how many frames per second it is definitively.
You don't want to hear it, man. It's okay.
Kosho, was that?
Yeah, show us how you came up with the frames per second.
A knuckleball. What would you say that was?
I want to know how Dawn determined the frames per second of this video and why he's bitching about it.
30 frames per second. I figured it out.
Ain't no 30 frames a second.
Yes, it is. Okay, Don, do you know how to look at a YouTube video frame by frame?
Yeah, do you know how to look into the research on this video production? Because we had an agreement on it in here before. So someone who's asking me how I came to it is because we've discussed it in length before. That's how I've came to it. I recall an agreement.
So you have no evidence. You just have words.
Fine, dude. Fine.
YouTube.
You have confirmation bias that you and a bunch of people circle jerked over.
Don't look into that video. Don't look into it yourself.
I did.
If you don't want to
30 frames per second because you can forward it.
You don't have evidence. You don't have evidence.
You can just forward it frame by frame inside of YouTube. You know that, right?
That's the YouTube video. The video was blended, genius. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Dude, I know a lot about video. How do you blend video? Okay, just silence. Got it.
What is blending?
If you look in the description, it said it's made from 9,966 individuals.
Yeah, that's not enough. Do the math.
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
That's like 3 frames per second.
You're fucking genius, dude. Golly. If you don't want to hear it, you don't have to hear it.
Don, how did you come to the number of what is enough?
I didn't even say enough. Oh. Because
you said it wasn't enough. Yes, what is enough, and how did you reach that number?
Yes, sir.
How many frames?
Well, the thing is Scott Mackey. The thing that I'm calling bullshit on here, sir, is the sketchiness and clickbaity over exaggerated labeling.
I hear you. That's not my
hey man,
question,
let me finish.
Though, right?
Let me finish. Like, the way I came to the number.
Answer my question.
Yes. Okay. I'm holding your question. The way that I come to this number, right, in contrast to like the hill that I'm standing on right now, is because we have, everyday type of videos that have different standard, right? This is like a science thing, which you would assume would have at least that standard. Also, we have like live stream from the ISS. So I'll be like, well, they have a live stream, right? If you whatever you turn on and is your live stream, that's not 1 frame a second, right? And so that's the standard that I would want to be at. So
I didn't hear a number though. What number is sufficient for you?
I'm coming at the whatever whatever you live stream the SpaceX rocket launch at, that number. Is it 24, 30? I don't know.
Okay, why?
Well, why? Because if you were to be digitally faking stuff, the work is a lot more tedious as you multiply it as such. I understand. See, then they have this blending thing, which could kind of gives you that last layer of mask. Now, Scott, I understand. Okay, I understand the abnormalness of it, right? But I'm just saying, man, that I spoke up on this particular
we heard you, but I'm still confused.
I'm talking to Scott Mackey, bro.
That's okay.
I stood up on this particular thing because I do feel it seems like this is the thing Mo is asking for. I've told him I will stand on issues like this, the rarity of the orbiting, okay? And this is what's presented, and it has non-standard. It has,
Okay.
I don't want to say anomaly, but whatever. And that's why I feel. And Scott, I feel it's suspect. I just want to say that. Okay.
What is blending? First off, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Just look into it yourselves, man. I'm not gonna be on fucking cloud here, dude. You don't get you learning it, man. Fuck you, bro. I appreciate you. But I don't know.
I cannot look into it with respect to this video.
They blend it. It's a computer button. It says
who says
morph them all together, and it morphs it.
Who says diction?
Who does it? The fucking program.
What program?
The video producers program.
The video producers program
says a button that says blend them all together. Wow.
Yes, the morphing. It does it. Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about?
No, the guy who makes those videos.
Dude. Are you guys like retarded or something?
That footage right from NASA.
We trying to talk about orbital mechanics, on video productions and shit.
Yeah,
man.
I'm the retard because I scream when somebody asks me.
The guy who makes those videos, he pulls those images right from the NASA website.
Right. So why don't you show the images? Why you having a suspect looking video, and that's y'all's thing? I think it's interesting.
Suspect about it.
How suspect is it's not a standard video. When you have a video, you turn on your camera, you go video, boop. It's not fucking click time lapse photography that's morphed in a video production.
What?
Dude,
what
the videos are morphed.
You know what frames per second is?
The pictures are morphed.
Wow.
They're blended
frames
together.
per second is, Don?
You're just wrong.
Don, do you know what frames per second is?
Like, there has the picture and it doesn't move. How many moving pictures within 1 second?
How many
different images?
So that would be like 24 pictures taken in a second. That would be 24
in
frames
1 second. Yeah, that's acceptable to reality. Hey, man, let's go with 60.
How many are in this? 32.
So
you're
Don,
wrong.
when I click forward
he does
on this video, every
video.
single frame it moves.
They cut up one picture from every second and morphed it, you fucking dumbass. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, even the author himself says that he interpolated.
You're a fucking dumbass. You don't listen, and you're fucking not my friend. And then you get mad while I'm yelling because you're not nice.
Shut up, Don. You're not.
Don,
that's the percentage. He seems to know what you're talking about.
Don, there's usually 30 to 60 frames every second. So how are they going to morph?
I want 60, Xanax.
Don's right. Even the guy that uploaded it, the author,
hold on.
says that he blended the frames together.
Clearly talking to Don. Clearly, Don. There's not
you can
one
see this at 1 hour
second.
and 19 minutes.
Hello.
When they show the
I was
lightning,
talking to Don.
Xanax, I will listen to you. I'm doing laundry. Xanax, I'm about to do laundry, but I'm listening.
What do you mean 1 frame per? There's 30 to 60 frames per second. They take 60 frames and just slip them in there when no one's looking.
Okay, I'd like to go back to percent because he's talking about the subject and I don't seem to know.
Oh,
so
Jesus fucking Christ, man!
Shut up, fucking Chris. I
don't think I will. I mean, I was just going to say Jesus fucking Christ and then stop there, but since you told me it's, shut the fuck up.
Shut up,
I
drug
don't
addict.
think I will.
That a boy.
All right, now, so Don, I'm just curious on percent. You're saying he blended them. Now, does that mean he's reducing the number of frames in order to conserve memory and make it a smaller video, or is he expanding the number of frames to make it appear longer?
Well, it depends on what he was trying to do. If there's an average FPS that he was trying to achieve, and some like parts have more
Who the
frames
fuck muted
than
me
others,
and why?
then he would have
fuck,
increased
man?
some and decreased the others.
Stop
Actually, I don't think he would have decreased. I think he just would have blended some frames together to give the illusion of more FPS in the areas that they have little ones. And he did that clearly in 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 40 seconds, where he shows lightning, or where it shows lightning, and the lightning is lasting a lot longer than it should. And he addresses it in the comments saying it's because he interpolated the frames.
Okay, let me see. 1 hour 19, you say?
Yeah, in like 40-some seconds.
Yeah, there's some breakthrough shit here, man. We're really breaking ground. Aren't we, Moyak?
Chris, what's your problem?
Fucking you, Chemo, muting me, you prick. That's my problem.
What's
and autistic motherfuckers like Moyak, that's my fucking problem. Listening to these cuts day in, day out, yammering about the same shit they went over fucking the day before. It's painful.
Chris, it's what they're here for, to do it day in, day out. You expect them to just stop doing it because you want to complain? Finish your point.
About 30-some seconds.
Yeah, that's right, Kimo. I want to complain. That's right. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, but in the middle of a
Autistic
conversation,
motherfuckers like to be autistic. I like to complain. Okay, so why is that wrong? What's wrong with that?
It's in the middle of a conversation.
Oh, that was a very important conversation. I'm sorry. I mean, all I said was Jesus fucking Christ, and Mark told me to shut the fuck up. If he had just kept his fucking cocksucking mouth shut, I wouldn't have said anything. I just said Jesus fucking Christ, and that'd have been the end of it.
You kiss your mother with that mouth?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
And I kiss your mother too, and she's quite grateful.
Go take your
She's a beautiful woman, I must say.
She actually is.
Sorry, Mark, I didn't quite catch that. You do speak under your breath. You do like to hurl insults under your breath a bit, Moyoki. I think you should be more assertive.
Chris, you sound like a complete moron. Stop talking. Quit while you're ahead.
Sorry?
Quit while you're
ahead.
Guys. Quit while you're ahead. Shut the fuck up.
What did he say, Jeremy?
He called you a druggie.
Yeah. Oh, did he? Oh, that's a new one. Oh, I'm shocked and saddened by that, Moyock. Like, dude, right, but this junkie is younger, better looking, and fitter than you, Moyock. So, fucking must be doing something right.
You can't even construct a cohesive sentence.
Fucking serial killer in the making, this motherfucker.
Derek, what are you doing jumping in?
Why does it get
There's no need for you to add to it.
Why not? It's just going nowhere.
Because it just causes it to keep.
Why don't you mute him when he's just all he's doing is insulting people? Just mute him.
And all you do is fucking is entertain these fucking idiots day in, day out, thinking you're
That's
actually
what they're here for,
Chris. You got something to say?
Chris, that's what they're here for.
No, it's not. It's not. We're not here to listen to Zanuck and Moyock talk for fucking hours.
Hey, you know what, Chris? Though, you know what though? I don't know what respect I get, but I came at Zam's one of the first people I talked. He actually showed me like friendship. He actually gave me time, dude. Zam taught me like, dude, he's out there. He shares time, dude.
Well, I mean,
he's a real deal, dude. He's
a fucking
mentor.
I'm really impressed by that. But
it's true.
I mean, that can be done. That can be done in other rooms, right? That doesn't have to be. You don't have to dominate a room with nearly 60 people in it. Just Moyock and Zanuck. Zanuck and Moyock just Chris, going and going all fucking day.
What are you adding to the conversation? Nothing. Just shut the fuck up.
Well, currently nothing. But that's what I like to do.
Chris, can you do some
what are you adding to the conversation, Zanuck?
Well, Zanuck adds way more than you do, Chris. I can vouch for that.
In a video, I was asking him how many frames he was actually editing to those 60 frames a second.
And what's that going to achieve?
I remember we came to an agreement.
I want to know that. I want to understand
going on with this.
And I want to understand.
I just want to stand up.
What is that going to?
That's going to take us 10 years if you want to understand something, Chris.
Shed a little doubt on the fact that you can't just throw in one frame and change a video.
And what's that going to achieve?
What is anything here going to achieve, Chris?
You have noticed that you came to a server about debating flat Earth, haven't you? Chris, I mean, you come here willingly every day to listen to this shit. You don't like this shit.
I come here for the camaraderie with friends, to have a laugh. That's why I come here.
Guys,
I don't come here
with
the fucking delusion that I'm going to get through to some of these motherfuckers, right? I don't come here.
Anything.
Guys, listen. Both of you guys have a point. You guys have a point, which is that this is about flat Earth, and that on some level, it is there's no getting around the fact that this is what we do here. On the other hand, all Chris said was Jesus Christ. That's all he said, and this whole thing exploded off of one Jesus Christ. I mean, look, if someone can't say Jesus Christ sometimes, that's like ridiculous. I mean, I think we should just move on and admit that everyone's a little bit. Everyone's a little bit triggered, and maybe we just need to calm down.
Yeah, we need to watch the God for the bird.
He wasn't saying anything. He was just blabbing away.
No, before that he said Jesus Christ, and then Moyock took offense to that, and Moyock went in for the throat, and then it started escalating. And then you jumped in and had to say stuff.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's all. I just said Jesus fucking Christ.
Let's do the big reset. Chris?
Let's reset. Let's reset.
Here we go.
No, fuck me. There's a reset every day, so why not? What the fuck?
You just can't do it.
I just fucking agreed to it, prick.
Yeah, okay, I fucking agree to it also. Good. We're good.
All right, excellent. I agree to it too.
Yeah, fuck, I agree to it too, you fuckwit.
Hello, Chris.
Hey, Mr. Leo, what's happening?
I'm fun today, so that's why I'm here.
Oh, cool, cool.
Can I be a cool person today, Chris, or do I have to be an idiot too?
Oh no, you're cool. You're cool. You're not like cunts like Moyoc who, you know, have to resort to calling people drug addicts because it's all he's really got. This is a guy who comes on here day after day, sober, I might add, talking to flat earthers, trying to get through to them, posting pictures of his own face on, you know, on bodies of women. Fucking, like, it's so bizarre. This motherfucker is a serial killer or a mass shooter in the making. Mark my fucking words. This guy's one bad debate away from shooting up a shopping mall. You know, watch the news because Moyoc will be on it soon.
Bold claim right there. And prediction, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
He's going to shoot up a shopping mall. And he's got pictures of himself doing what?
There you go. Look in the chat. Look in the chat right now.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That's a body.
There you go. Look, he likes to cut out the eyes of women in pictures. Like, you know, it's a favourite pastime of his.
Actually, I haven't done that yet. You want me to?
Oh, I have no doubt that it's something you would do, man. You're a creepy motherfucker.
Oh yeah, represent beauty is creepy. I don't know.
I mean, apparently you don't drink, so you're on here sober. I mean, wow. This fucking boggles the mind.
So you admit you're always on here stoned?
No, absolutely not. That's blatantly false.
Oh, you're still sober?
Currently, I'm sober. Yeah, that's right. I'm sober. So 6 days. Six days out of 7. I get fucked up 1 day a week, and cunts like and I asked to be server muted because cunts like you use it against me.
Chris, you can't stop the flat Earth, pushing forward.
I don't care. I don't want that. So what?
Well, you're trying to, yeah, care. Now. No,
I'm just trying to break up the monotonous fucking autistic fucking drivel that I hear day in, day out from the same people day in, day out. It's fucking tedious, man.
10 minutes, Chris. Chris, you're not very entertaining right now, just so you know.
I don't care, man. I don't. I'm not entertaining. You think you are?
Then great. You don't care. Obviously, you don't care. Just shut up then. Move forward.
But I mean, like, I'm not. You think you're entertaining, Zanik? You're one of the most boring motherfuckers here.
You have nothing to say. We don't want to hear you.
What do you have to say, though?
I'm I'm just telling you to shut up.
Right, but you have to say what I have to say. Both achieve nothing, so we're on the same page, right?
Are you checking to see if your microphone works or something? Yes, we can hear you.
No, but what I'm saying is that when you have to say what I have to say, both achieve nothing, so we're on the same fucking page.
Say something of substance. I mean, I want to hear from you. Really, I do.
You're a cunt. Yeah, you're a cunt. Mark's a cunt. You're all cunts.
Funny because you got that accent, but that's good, great. But say something of substance. I don't mind.
Quit being a cunt.
But just say something.
Hey, quit being a cunt. Quit being a cunt.
I agree with you, brother. The globe lie is just so boring and mundane.
We're not talking about globe lies.
The levels that you have to go to
what's a globe lie?
Up. It's boring as hell. It's
what's
really
a globe
getting
lie,
old.
right? Yeah.
Y'all should really just come off of it. Quit interrupting while we're talking because that's really telling, and come up with some curved water.
Can you give us an example of a globe lie?
Zanik, when did they get to -17?
Negative 17.4?
Yeah.
On Earth, we get close to 10 torr. That's about as high as we get.
Right. When did they get to 11? When did they get to 11?
We got to 11 too. We technically got to 11.
When did that happen?
Last 10 years.
No, I mean like no. If a rocket went out into space, it went through 11 and 12 and 13 and to 17.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Right. So when did that happen?
When we shot up a rocket up in the air and it went through the atmosphere and up into space, and that's when it went through those gradients of pressure. Yes.
And are they? Did it have instruments on it that told them about the -17, or are they just guessing still?
No, they detected it back when they first discovered space.
They could do it by how much your ship slows down over time.
Yep, that's one way.
Okay.
You gotta realize that
Right. So the thing that's insanely negligible, nothing, is gonna drag you and show you.
Blow your mind for a second. If you're
Yeah.
space,
I'm anyway.
Don,
Go ahead, Zen.
If you think about it, if you're in space and it's 10 to the -10 or 10 to the -15 torr in that range, you got to realize there's a vast distance between particles statistically.
Yeah, sure.
So
when did they get to 11?
Let me finish. If you think about it, between those particles is absolute zero. You don't have a pressure until something hits you, and so something's not hitting you all the time. So there is absolute zero between. We have a.
Oh, so to be tweaking, I get you. It'll be tweaking a lot.
We make a mistake of looking at space overall, like in its entirety.
Yeah.
But technically, we can look at it in small areas, and in small areas, there is absolute zero.
So it's telling them zero, absolute zero, like a lot.
Like you'll take a reading
right.
with a sensitive enough instrument. You'll take a reading, and there'll be no pressure.
According to mathematical formulas, 27.25 miles gets you to -7 torr.
When did it happen? So when was that milestone?
Why are you asking this actually?
Well, we asked this one a lot. Just nobody remembers usually which one it was.
What are you talking
Did you
about?
hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? According to the mathematical formula, at 27.25 miles, you can get to an air pressure density of -9 torr or -9 psi.
Well,
that's 9.
Hey, Don.
So what experiment?
Hey, Don.
What experiment went to 10 first?
Don, can I just ask? After this question, can we get back to the globe light? Do you mind if the flat earthers?
Is this chemo?
Yeah,
is this chemo?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So you hear what I'm doing right now, chemo, and you don't want to. You want to act like that's not what I'm doing?
No, I'm just saying. After your point,
it's crazy, but it's like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, motherfuckers, like.
Yeah, I'm just saying, mate, finish your point or get on with it. I'm just saying, but do you mind if after
you
that...
don't hear me straight interviewing Zanuck like a fucking attack interview, like, when did it happen, Zanuck? Boom, boom. You don't like that? And you act like, get back to it?
Yeah, but that is... what you're talking about is a bit more philosophy. We want to get into the globe lie.
It's about... I'm asking about the experiments. They rockets. When did it see space, buddy? When did it prove space? You say space is fake, right, Chemo? I'm trying to back you. I'm investigating. Hey, Zanuck, Chemo says space is fake. Did you know that, Zanuck? So I'm trying to figure out, when did this -17 thing happen and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but thank you for your time, Zanuck. I do appreciate it.
17 psi happens, right?
Well, you said 24 miles or
Or not
something. It's
PSI,
-9. You said -9, Chris, right? That's what you said.
Correct. And
Right.
I can't calculate figures because Google Sheets messes up when it gets to negative temperature below absolute zero and can't calculate anything further.
So you don't want to experiment to go try that though, huh? Why? I would do that. I bet they was on that rail. If I was a scientist and shit, that'd be like the #1 fucking experiment.
You also got to get your units of measure down. You're talking about air density, then you're talking about pressure as air density. That's not right either. It's usually slugs per square. I mean, you got to get your question straight first.
We never remember.
Want to know.
We don't know. We don't know when they proved space was empty. We don't know when it happened.
First time they went into it, got up to 17,000 miles an hour, didn't burn up.
Mm-hmm. Gotta respect the scout and the diplomat.
Yeah, if it smells like bullshit, tastes like bullshit, pretty sure it's bullshit.
Earl's here.
Down, respect my conglomerate.
That describes the
Well,
flatter.
so when a kindergartner measures this exponential decay of pressure up at 120,000 feet and measures 0.05 psi, what do you think they're measuring, Don?
So Zanuck,
Don,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I asked you a question and I always answered. Now your turn.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You said, what do I think you're measuring? And I guess I was saying if you're saying I wasn't exactly clear on what you said, but I'm assuming you said something about the pressure getting low, and I'm going to say I think you're measuring the absence of part.
Yeah, that's exactly what vacuum is.
Okay, Zen, I'm with you. Look. I'm still trying to be right. Now listen.
So I asked you, what do you think we're measuring? When we measure minus, or we measure 0.05 psi, and we measure it at 120,000 feet. What do you think we are measuring?
PSI.
What is PSI? What is PSI?
Well, I mean, I think the gravity's involved in all that, you know.
What does PSI stand for? No.
Oh, man, pounds for the square inch, Zanuck. Sorry, what are you doing here?
Right,
Come on.
Right. Yeah. So we're measuring a pressure, right? We're measuring pressure, and that pressure is very, very low, and it went up exponentially as you went higher, predictably so, by the way.
Right.
And if we go higher than that, it goes down continually.
Right.
And
but look,
also,
we know why we want to keep science open, man. So if there was other science that'd be easier to find if open, we want it to be there. I know you know that. Look, I think about crazy things, Zanuck, like the negative atoms or the, you know what I mean? Shit like that, dude. So this is why I think about this stuff. Like, I just, you know what I mean? Like, dude, it's not about, I know, Lale, I'm crazy. I know.
No, you're not crazy. Your imagination is going wild. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. It's great to have a good imagination.
And that's why you're like, hey, man, if people are lying about milestones and stuff like that, you'll
have more fun. Listen, you'll have more fun if you understand some of the basic concepts. And the concept is, when you get into space, there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
Absence of molecules, because we have gravity on the Earth, and it gives air weight. And as you get further away, that force goes down with the square of the distance. So it gets less and less and less as you get further and further away from the Earth. And we measure that because, like was mentioned earlier, we have objects that are orbiting the Earth that you can track yourself going 17,000 miles an hour, and they're not burning up, because you can easily test that on the surface of the Earth going a fraction of that speed and watch things just disintegrate because of the friction or the drag against the air.
What happened if something went up and it got locked up into the space realm up there? And you think it's just going farther and farther away because the signal's getting delayed, but the power's just getting weaker or something. Who knows, Zanuck? Who knows, man?
No, we know.
You know, I know you know.
Yeah,
I know you know. I know you trust
we do
them
tests to make sure that
everything.
it's not something else. That's what the scientific method that Quantum Racer always talks about. We try to control the variable, right? And we manipulate the dependent variable or the independent variable, and it affects the dependent variable. We get this, and we figured out that it's not something else.
Well, bless the abundance. You know what I'm saying? Like right now is still cutting edge. It's super cutting edge. And, you know.
It's not that cutting edge. We've been doing this in the 60s. That's a long time ago, before you were born.
Well, how long do you think that an institution was doing a cell phone before everybody had it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a while, man. You know, it's like, dude, soon, like, you know how we all have a drone now? Like, you know what I mean? What is, let me say something. Like, you know how they made the Antarctic Treaty and shit? And it's like, they all work together. What are they all going to work together and have like the space, you know, the space agency or whatever? Because we're all just going to get a drone. We could send one up and just be like, boop, go to orbit, our personal drone, boop to orbit. Like everybody could have one, Zanuck. Like, and listen, you think I'm kidding, but it's like more and more people are getting private jets. More and more people are getting, you know,
some
people want to go on rocket flights.
Someday we all might have our little Virgin Atlantic type of pod that we can go and orbit the Earth in. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we?
That's a little bit silly, Don, because there are a huge number of people that don't have their own private planes. I certainly don't personally know anybody that owns their own private jet. That's for certain.
Dude, I'm telling you, think about in the movie Star Wars, look, if you're an international
in the Star Wars universe,
if you're on a planet, you're stuck on a planet. But if you're not, you can just fly around, grab a plane. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's just flying around.
And as a percentage, it's in the below 1% kind of number that people are moving about in the Star Wars universe. It's not the common
what
thing.
about in the one planet? In the one planet, they're in the cities in the sky. Everyone's flying around.
Lando Calrissian City, yeah.
That one too, and Coruscant.
Yeah, so Coruscant, again, that's where people go to. Cities are big sort of commercial centers. But when you take the entire population of the galaxy, there's whole books in Star Wars where they talk about this, that's part of the canon, that it's very rare for people to travel between planets. It's really unusual.
All right, well, there's a place...
fictional area. We're talking about the real Earth, not fiction.
Yeah, well, there's a place on the real Earth in Magic the Gathering called Kaladesh, and everybody's like an artificer, and they can put the ether into all these little contraptions, and you can just throw up your own drone or whatever.
Someone mentioned a
Oh,
quarter.
by the way, the guy that wrote Magic the Gathering is not a flat earther. He's a definite glober.
Well, then why are the cards flat? Why are the cards flat then?
That's a stupid
all the cards are flat. The Earth has to be flat. It doesn't. You say your number one reason the Earth is a globe is because all the planets are round.
No, the number one reason the Earth is a globe.
Search it on the internet.
Being a globe, Tom.
Search it on the internet, foolish. It'll tell you number one reason. Google proof Earth is round. Number one reason will say all other planets are round. Look at it.
The reason I believe the Earth is a globe is because we got pictures showing the Earth to be
way
a globe.
more evidence. Than
That's my number one reason, but the internet doesn't agree.
You want to know my number one reason, Don? This is my number one reason because we've measured a downward acceleration at 9.8 meters per second squared, and we know that anything that has that acceleration downward will form into a sphere.
No, that's not.
So you can take a
I'm
flat.
I'm with him because surface said, look.
No, I'm saying that Chris is wrong.
Don't when they rocket. Don't when they spill water in the ISS, it makes balls, though.
That's not the condition that you get a spherical planet. You need what's called a potato radius.
Wasn't that you, Zanuck?
No, it's rocket.
Chris, it's me. I'm saying you're wrong. 9.8 meters per second squared does not make a sphere.
Anyways, a quarter of a psi is 1/64th of our Earth's atmosphere, or around there. I'm not sure exactly what altitude you need to get to 1/64th, but that is what 1/64th is a quarter psi.
So what about this flat Earth lie? Actually, I think we should let Kimo get in. He's been incredibly patient, and I'm trying to be a reasonable human being.
I don't think that's reasonable to let Kimo in.
In all the time, in nearly 6 years, this is the most obvious this room has ever been. You're in serious deep shit.
I'm glad.
I very much doubt I'm in deep shit, Mel.
What are you talking about, Merle? What does that even mean?
Deep shit. Oh.
I mean, the fact this is streaming on YouTube, it's evidence against all of you.
Well,
about what? About what, Merle? What's the? I mean, what is it against us? I don't even understand.
The main thing is just that you're liars.
But we're not liars, and nothing we said indicates we're liars.
Oh.
Everything you say indicates that.
Can you Can you just name one thing so that I understand what you're? Hold on, Dross. Hold on.
Mark Sargent
Can you just name
is a
one
liar.
thing? Can you hold on real quick? Can you just name one thing so I can know what you're referring to? I've been listening and I'm just thinking, like, what does he think? What is he talking about? I didn't hear anything like that.
Branch knows what's up.
Oh, so you won't say? Okay.
Is your point that Lael was mistaken about something, therefore we're liars or something?
No, it's not Lael's fault. Lael's a good human being.
I didn't say it was his fault.
His heart's in the right place.
Thank you, Earl, for calling.
I take slight offence at that, Mel, because I definitely try not to deceive people. And when you call me a liar, you're saying I'm intentionally attempting to deceive people. I know what the truth is, and I'm attempting to deceive them. And I strongly object to that because I don't.
You don't know what the truth is.
Then I can't be lying about it, can I?
Davros, you have deceived people. You say our combined IQ is 30. That's a deception.
Yeah, I mean, intent to deceive is what constitutes a lie. When you call someone a liar, Merle, that's a serious fucking strike in my world. I don't use that word
but trust,
casually.
when asked for a given example, he wasn't able to do it. It's clear he's not really doing. It hardly has any teeth if he's not telling us what it's a lie.
Yet I gave you a perfect example. You were perpetrating on.
It's not a personal attack on anybody. I've been in here today, I don't know, on and off about 5 hours. And I've heard the discussions. I mean,
like, Jeremy.
We've had Jeremy and Chemo, SE, Rakia. There's been. I had an exchange too. Yeah. Other people have come in and out.
But what were the lies, Merle, that you were talking about?
I mean, everybody in here. I mean, Denmark too. He's muted there.
So that's nothing to do with me. Nothing I'm responsible for. You called everybody in here a liar, Merle, and I'd like you to back that up. And I'm quite serious about it, or withdraw it.
Yeah, get to the point, man.
I'm saying that today. I've been around a long time, guys. Like, this is.
You've already said that multiple times.
Yeah, we know that, Merle. I've been around a long time too. In fact, I've been alive a lot longer than you as well.
The point is, it speaks for itself.
No, it doesn't. That's why I'm asking you. Why are you calling me a liar?
It's not about you, Dross. You
just called everybody in this room a liar. I am one of the people in this room.
You're making it more obvious.
No, you called me a liar, and I'm holding you to account. I want you to substantiate that, or fucking withdraw it.
You're part of a cult, Dross.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
If you can't see
that, stop lying about me. I've now told you that I'm not, and you keep reinforcing it. Now, what cult do I belong to? What cult do I belong to, and what are our rituals?
Mainstream cult. The cult of the mainstream.
What secret esoteric knowledge am I hiding from you that I know that you don't to qualify me as a cult?
This room's a cult.
How?
You're a cult, Merle. You're the biggest cult of all.
You're making yourself look like a real cult at the moment.
You're the cult of Merle. Membership
one person can't be a cult.
Well, what makes you say cult? What gives you that idea?
Because every time a flat earther brings up a discussion, they're met with ridicule.
How about the discussion that I had?
Okay.
Finish it a cult?
Don't worry about it. I don't need. Everybody knows what's going on anyway.
Well, ridicule depends on who's in the room and how the flat earthers behaving themselves.
Well, if you took the size of the Earth as a flat Earth, which is circular in nature, and you added the downward acceleration, it would form into a sphere. How is that cultish?
Well, how does it compare to Mormonism, Chris?
What?
Does it compare to Mormonism? That's how I pronounce it. Mormonism. Mormonism.
Every single Mormon on Earth ever has felt the downward acceleration towards the Earth at 9.8 meters per second squared. Every single person. Not just Mormons, but every person on Earth. So I don't get why you're asking that question. That's stupid, Chemo.
Merle was asking about the cult. I mean, it might not be. It might just be individuals who want to...
What does that question... What does the question of whether Mormons are a cult or not have to do with the downward acceleration of the Earth being 9.8 meters per second squared? Answer that question.
Well, everybody comes here of their own...
No, I'm asking Chemo to answer my question.
Get back to Merle's point about the cult. Is it a cult?
I know. I'm asking you a direct question about what you just said.
Like I say, it might not be. It might just be individuals.
Whether or not Mormonism is a cult, how does that deal with the issue of 9.8 meters per second acceleration downward? What does that have to do with that?
Cult.
They're unrelated, except for the fact that everyone in Mormonism is affected by the 9.8 meters per second downward.
Everyone in Mormonism a globe earther.
Whatever. That's beside the point. Everyone in Mormonism is affected by the acceleration downward at 9.8 meters per second squared. Anyone on Earth is also not exempt from that.
Cult doesn't have to be negative either. Like it's just it's group. Yeah, it's a group. It's a group thing.
I do not understand why I asked the question about the acceleration downward, and he brings up the cult of Mormonism. It has no relationship besides.
Now you're saying Mormonism is a cult? It could be argued as a religion, but
well,
I don't know what you think of it.
Words, he said it was a cult. So
that's what you said right now.
No, that's what Chemo said, and I was repeating what he was saying.
So, Just just said that all religions are a cult.
Yeah,
Heliocentrism, belief in the globe is religious. It's pseudoscience. It's a space religion.
No, it's not.
Occult?
What makes
It is a space religion, though. He is correct. It is a space religion because the Earth does exist in space, whether it's flat or circular or any shape.
Why don't you debate percent, Chris?
Religion. Sorry, go on, Kima.
Sorry, no, I was going to say what.
No. You hardly said anything, and I've said a lot. So you go first.
I was just going to say, is Chris? I've never heard Chris debate percent like on points. Have they ever debated?
What are you talking about? Because you run away from my points doesn't mean I'm not on point.
What's that?
Exactly.
What's that? Did you say I run away?
I didn't say you. I'm talking to Chemo.
Okay.
And yes, you run away too. How do sunsets occur on the flat Earth?
Sunsets?
Yes.
What's the sun?
Exactly. That's my point.
What's the sun?
It's a point of light in the sky.
What's it matter?
And
it's a point of light?
Provides energy to the ground and heats the ground.
Yeah, okay, it's a luminary, right? We don't know what it is. We don't know if it's a physical object.
That's normally...
It appears that the sun is moving. That's what our empiricism shows, right? Our senses that we rely upon every day, your senses which you're relying upon right now to listen to me, show us that the sun is moving.
It is empirical that the sun heats the Earth.
And all those senses,
and that it's moving.
Tell me that the sun isn't.
Now you're claiming that the sun is not moving, that the Earth is moving around it. You're claiming that the sun is stationary. You're claiming that sunsets, the sun isn't actually setting, it's the Earth turning.
I never made a claim about whether the Earth is moving or the sun is moving.
Okay, so you agree that the sun moves then?
The Earth is heated up by the sun. That's what
okay, but you agree that the sun is moving, right? In the sky.
So is the flat Earth rotating like a record?
Okay, so Chris, if you're not going to debate percent...
I did answer the question.
Well, hold on.
I never made a claim of whether the sun was moving. My claim was whether...
Chris...
My claim was that the sun itself heats the Earth.
Of course it does. No one's disagreeing on that. The sun is like a warm
up. Energy coming from something that's not physical percentage. I've never.
You know why you're saying that the sun heats up a thing? Because we easily sense it with our senses, right? It's that's easily perceptible. Now, also, hold up. Another thing that we easily perceive is the sun moving across the sky.
Yes,
you're claiming that the sun doesn't actually move.
Produces heat.
He didn't actually claim that.
Chris, you let him deflect. You let him deflect from your original question, and now you're down in the mud with him.
Thing.
What was the original question?
You don't know it's a physical thing, bro.
Show me a heat fire in a vacuum. Show me light in a vacuum temperature. Show me temperature in a vacuum. The Earth should be burning at 1,000,000 degrees.
Stop.
It's like you rely on your senses for some things and not for other things when you haven't even proven the thing that you decide not to rely on your senses for. It's nonsense.
Well, hold on, because Rocket said... Hold on, Chris. Rocket said that...
Chris, you fell for percentage's normal game. You let him deflect your question.
Chris.
He's avoiding your question.
Go on, Rocket. What did he avoid? Let's go
Chris,
back.
present your original question and show where you are now in the conversation.
Alright, go back to that question. Your original question. What was his question, Rocket? Do you even know?
His original questions were, what are sunsets? And I'm asking him, what's a sun?
Yeah, and so percentage is
so you didn't explain it.
I'm saying, what is the sun?
The sun is a luminary. We don't know what it is more than that. A luminary that provides warm light and moves in a circuit.
Just explained it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, the sun is a warm light that moves in a circuit.
Can I please apologize?
Hold on. So what? Leo, stop a second, Leo. Wait. Leo, hold on. The rocket. What was the problem with what percent said?
It's Chris's question. I just wanted to just point out that percent pulled his regular bullshit of deflecting off what the question is because he doesn't want to have that discussion.
How? Can you just
I didn't deflect the thing.
How?
Yeah, yes, you did.
Light,
you do it all the time.
A warm luminary.
It wasn't even a question. Your next question.
We don't know what it is beyond that.
How fucking honest is that in the conversation?
So you agree that it is moving then, right?
Percentage. Leo didn't ask you what the sun was. You asked him that, and then you answered your own question. Would you like to now answer?
Someone else asked me that, and I answered it.
Yeah. Can you now answer Leo's question?
Oh, let's go back to Chris. Chris,
I just said moving in a circuit. As things move, they get farther away, and they get smaller in the.
But our senses tell us that it's not getting farther away.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does, bro.
I don't know. Have you ever actually watched the sun? It doesn't get any smaller. My senses tell me that means it's approximately the same distance away all the time.
It does get smaller. You're just like discounting. You're discounting glare.
How does it sit below us?
If I trusted my senses purely, it would seem like it's getting bigger as it sets. But I've actually measured it and seen that it's the same size as it sets.
Why would you say it seems like it's getting bigger as it sets?
It's the same thing as the moon illusion. When the sun or the moon is near the horizon, we perceive them as bigger than we do at zenith, even though they're the same size.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I'm pretty sure that's why they call it the moon illusion and not the sun and moon illusion. Or
most people don't.
You will find it called the sun illusion.
People aren't staring at the sun.
I'm kind of lost. What's the question, Chris? And what's going on? What is the What are you answering, percent?
What are sunsets?
Sunsets
on a flat Earth.
Are you happy then, Chris, with the answer?
On a flat Earth?
Can't hear you, Chris. Can anyone hear Chris?
No.
Sorry, I accidentally hit the mute button on my microphone. Can any flat earther, including percentage, show me something on Earth that produces that is not physical? Go.
Yeah, of course you can.
Cut out on the important
you're
word
doubling down on his diversion. Why?
You definitely have
this
things that
is
aren't
not
physical.
diversion. This is directly to the point.
Anything based on light is not physical, right?
Something on Earth that
Come on, Lil, you had a question.
Rainbows aren't physical. Shadows aren't physical.
They don't produce
Mirages
heat, though.
aren't physical.
Something that produes heat.
All those things are physical phenomena.
Yeah, why are you running from the question?
We don't know what the sun is. We're assuming it's something just because we don't know what it is. That's an argument from ignorance.
Something non-physical that produces heat. Show us something non-physical that produces heat on the Earth.
Listen, you guys are assuming your claim is true based on not having any evidence to the contrary.
No,
it's an argument from ignorance. It's
why don't
literally
you
an
fucking
argument
answer
from
the
ignorance. It's
question,
fallacious, and you guys should know that.
Show us something non-physical that produces heat.
Doesn't matter, man. I don't know what the sun is.
Yes, it does.
I don't know what the sun is.
Okay, the sun is physical. That's the point.
We don't know that.
Yes, we do, because you need something physical to produce heat. That's the fucking point, percent.
We don't know what the sun is, what medium it's in, what nature of laws it follows. Maybe there's a different set of laws for up there.
Retarded.
Maybe we have natural laws for terra firma and different laws for.
I'm sorry you've undergone the choice of
no actual evidence. We don't have enough information. It's undetermined amounts of information. You guys are claiming it's true based on not having information. That's an argument for ignorance, and you're a fool for prescribing to it.
I accept that you do not recognize as inference and induction being any form of valid way to gain reasonable confidence to make a knowledge claim. I accept that. Okay? So that means you can no longer employ those arguments in anything you talk about. You realize this?
No, because that's not what I'm doing.
Yes, you are. You're rejecting inference and induction. So inference, let's look at the inference argument which someone brought up. So the inference argument is the only things that we observe energy coming from originate from physical things. Yeah, energy does not originate from a non-physical thing. That was the point that someone brought up. So would you reject that as a reasonable premise?
I don't know. We honestly don't have enough information to claim that.
But it's an inference. It's not a deduction. I'm not asking you to make a deductive. I'm asking whether that's a reasonable.
Are you asking me whether I would personally prescribe to that inference? No, I would say there's an undetermined amount of information to make that.
So what inference would you subscribe to?
I would say that heat can be gotten, you know, by physical things and assumingly by non-physical things until we rule it out.
Besides the sun.
Wait, one second, please. One more question, Lyle. Let me ask one more question. How would you rule out the impossibility of
something? Because light isn't physical, right?
And wait 1 second. Let me finish the question. How would you rule out the impossibility of something anywhere in the universe to a deductive standard?
What do you mean? You would actually see it in person?
So you'd have to go to every place in the universe for this now to be a valid argument.
You mean like in terms of the sun specifically? No, not necessarily.
No, I'm just talking about any inference. I'm talking about we made an inference about energy.
You're kind of like making it. You're trying to derail it by talking in very broad strokes.
Don't do that.
We're getting away from the
specificity
of it.
Yeah. Chris's point is about what was Chris's question? How does the sun work at set or something?
No.
No?
That's
Go on, Chris. Come
Interpret
again.
How you want to interpret it.
Go on then. Go again. What's your question? How does the sun what?
Will you let me talk?
Yes.
Okay. One thing that percentage said is that light is not physical. I can agree with that. Can you give me an example on Earth of a non-physical thing producing light?
No.
Perfect. Then the sun has to be physical by that logic.
No.
Because the sun produces light, doesn't it?
Is the sun an object on Earth?
Well, according to Flat Earth, it is.
No, it's not.
Is it on the Earth?
Since when?
Not on the Earth, Chris.
Okay, let me rephrase
it's not a physical object on the Earth.
A thing that produces light that's in the Earth that is not.
No, I can't. And for you to automatically assume that makes the sun an object is an argument from ignorance because you do not have that information.
Is the sun made of matter?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No one knows. We don't know what the sun is.
He chooses not to know.
No, we don't know literally because we've never
go and research if you wanted to,
of matter,
but you choose not to. Sorry.
Who's we?
We as the human race.
Says who?
I'm sorry.
Says me.
Okay, so that's what it boils down to. Your ignorance.
You guys don't have any definitive evidence to say that it is an object of matter. As much as you guys want to claim it, you don't have that definitive evidence.
I just posted a 10-year time-lapse video of the sun.
You keep on claiming it's true without any evidence to the contrary. Go ahead.
I asked you not if it was definitive, but if you would accept it as an inference, and you wouldn't even do that.
We don't have any information.
You rejected my inference.
All we know is
because you know it debunks it.
Now, if you were to make that inference foolish, if you were to ask me about an object on Earth, a different object that's creating heat, as to whether it would be physical, I would say your inference is. I'd absolutely make that inference because we can verify those objects.
You've not been everywhere.
Those things on Earth. Well, let me finish.
Yeah,
we can verify those things on Earth to be objects and to be creating that heat. And it's we know that the natural laws that are working on terra firma. So we have more information to make that inference.
No, just hold on, because I think B-Ball was trying to get. I'm not sure if he still wants to ask his question. He was trying to say something. So you can say it.
No, I was just saying. Yeah. I just posted a 10-year time-lapse video of the sun.
Sure, you did.
Well, what do you have, percentage, other than rhetoric?
I mean, I think anybody that understands what I've done, I've exposed the problem in his argumentation, because everything that he's saying about how we would go and validate something is to make a deductive point, where he has direct observation. Now we're making an inference based on, what we observe around us. And one of the things we observe around us is we don't observe energy coming from something non-physical. Which I think is a reasonable inference to say, hey, until we find something that does, this should hold. Good inference. But he wants to reject that, and I don't understand.
Inferences are not definitive. We want definitive evidence.
And there you go. Now he's rejecting inference, which means
inferences are not definitive. Again, because if you've excluded everything, then it would be an inference.
You've said we've got to get back to...
Which means you're rejecting science, because science is an inductive
You've said
process.
it 3 or 4 times. Let's get back to Chris's question. Chris, are you satisfied with the answers thus far? Is he still there?
All I'm satisfied with is the knowledge that, once again, flat earthers run away from the actual question.
Says the person that can't even tell what the sun is.
They can't admit that the sun is made of matter, which would make it physical.
You haven't proved that.
It is made of matter.
You haven't shown that whatsoever. You have no definitive empirical evidence to support that.
Whether I
choose to reject inductive argument.
Why should I?
Because you're making a positive claim. You're saying the sun is made of matter. That's a positive claim. The burden of proof is on that positive claim. You have no definitive evidence to support that.
Any evidence when you're just going to reject? You rejected the statement. You've already
What's
rejected
your best evidence to show that the sun has matter?
Has percentage defined what definitive evidence is?
Yeah, many times. So what's the best evidence that you have that the sun is made of matter? Is it just comparing it to objects on Earth that have heat? That's your best argument? Or your best evidence is just an inference?
Okay, Bearded, get your question.
No, that's a question for Lael. What's your best evidence, definitive evidence of the sun having matter?
Jump in next, Bearded, after Chris.
The sun is made a physical object because anything that produces light or heat or energy on Earth is physical.
Is the sun on Earth?
It is on Earth.
No, it's not.
The light
goes to Earth, but the sun isn't on Earth. It's moving above the Earth, obviously. It's in the sky.
Heat, light. The sky is part of the
You're tripping hard, man.
Nope.
Oh, I think Bearded. Oh, I'll stop there because I think he's going to get into name calling. So Bearded and Artrix, if you want to get in before it gets into.
It's not necessary, but it's identifying the red herring that we're currently on. The question was was put out there for a flat earther to explain sunrises and sunsets on a flat Earth.
Yeah, and I explained it.
No, you didn't. You
I
said
did.
what the sun made out of.
I said the sun is a warm luminary that's moving in a circuit above us in the sky.
Can things be warm if they're not physical?
All right.
Wait. How does this explain sunset?
I explained how it's when it's moving away.
No, I understand you explain how it's
converging into the vanishing point of your horizon, just like any other thing that we see. Any other light in the sky.
It's not going to work, is it? This is a Bearded's question.
And it was pointed out that that's not what we observed.
This is a Bearded's question.
Talk over the answer.
This is Bearded's question. Chris, this is Bearded's question. Let him get a response.
Well, actually, it's Lael's question.
It's my question. So,
go on.
So, anyways, percentage. Did God create this sun?
I think so. Now, how do you explain sunsets?
Did God create the sun out of non-matter?
I don't know how God created anything.
Is the Earth matter?
I imagine He created matter itself.
Okay, is the Earth made of matter?
Yes, I think so.
How come God would create the Earth out of matter, but not the sun?
Because the Earth is not the sun, obviously.
That's not an answer.
That's just a bit of an answer.
What makes you think that God would create everything from the same thing if they're completely different things?
It's made of matter. They are separate things. I agree with that, but it's made of matter.
So? Yeah, the Earth is made of matter. What's your point?
So is the sun.
You don't know that.
And you don't know.
Right, percent. Let's say you could. Right, so one sec, Chris, man. All right, on you go. Finish if you want to finish up, Chris.
Yes.
Right, percent. How would you determine that if you could take a sample of the sun, right? Just say if we had the ability to take a sample of the sun, how would you go about testing it, like to see if what it was composed of?
Well, if we had the sample, we would just observe the sample first off.
Right, but what tools would we use?
I think what you're asking for is probably impossible, but you would first just examine it close up. If you could have a little piece of sun, you would examine it close up, see what it is. If it's burning you or whatever, you'd take necessary precautions to protect from the heat.
Right, grant all that, right, but what I'm talking about is to find out what it's
That's a
actually
ridiculous
composed
question.
of, what it's made up of, right? We'd probably use something like, a gas spectrometer, right? Something like that.
Not really.
Why not? What would we use then to determine which elements are
Spectrometry
present?
all it does is look at the color. It's not really like good tool for finding out the composition of things.
Well,
Tell that to
why not?
all of forensic science. For the
Why
love
is
of
that?
everything.
Why is it not a good tool?
Because all it's doing is looking at the wavelengths of whatever color the thing has, and then it assumes that because it is missing some of these wavelengths, looking at like the absorption spectrum or what have you, that it went through these gases, which typically take away those things. It's just an inference. It's like assumptions that they make. For instance, you could point to at a different thing which doesn't have those wavelengths to begin with, but instead they'll assume that it went through this layer of like hydrogen gas or what have you.
Right. Okay. But let's say you've got something, a sample of something of known composition, right? In fact, you made it yourself, right? You forged some steel, right? And you got your iron, you added some carbon, whatever else goes into the manufacture of steel, right? You know which elements you used, and then you used a tool like a mass spectrometer to determine which elements were present. And then what do you know? It tells you, well, here's the amount of iron used, here's the amount of carbon used. I think they put zinc in it. I'm not sure. Can't remember off the top of my head. Whatever, right? Whatever. And the elements, the reports are present are consistent with what you actually did, right? Like in proportions. So now you know that your tool is effective and works, right?
Sure.
Right then, so why is it not a good tool to do it theoretically if you had a sample of the sun? And obviously we can't have a sample of the sun, so we can just take the light, which is it uses the same principles as having a direct sample, right? You just take the light and analyze it from there using absorption and admission lines, right?
Yeah. You mentioned mass spectrometry or whatever, and as far as I know, that one what it does is it measures the charge of a thing.
You might be right.
Yeah, so you just put I guess they put in a little sample of something and it measures the electric charge of it, and I think it has some sort of database or whatever of what charge.
Yeah, I think you're right. 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 Well, you can just use spectrometry then, right? Just
no, you wouldn't be able to use it in that
way
though, because spectrometry just it looks at the absorption patterns of
light. But you can use that for, like I said, if you manufacture some steel, right? You know exactly what you put into it, and then you can use spectrometry to determine which elements are present, and it'll report back which elements you actually.
I think you're confusing your different types of the technology. So spectrometry in terms of that
spectroscopy. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, spectroscopy. I meant to say spectroscopy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's still, when you're looking at the light, all you're doing is viewing light. It's you don't have an actual sample.
Do you think the technology changes or something? Because you're saying that something that's used in forensic laboratories and other chemical laboratories doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
No, it works the way it's supposed to, but they make assumptions for it. And if you don't know that, then you need to brush up on the topic.
Percentage. Are you okay with the assumption that the laws of physics are apply everywhere?
No.
Why?
Because all we have is terra firma, is the laws on the Earth.
Okay, so that it's not useful to talk to you because that is the one assumption that fucking matters.
Why?
Yeah, I think we're pretty
That's
much
the only assumption. That is the only assumption that matters.
Why would we assume that when we don't even know?
If you don't want to go with the assumption that the laws of physics apply everywhere, then fucking why are you even in this conversation?
The laws of physics apply on where we are, apply on Earth, apply on everything that we know. But we don't know about the stuff in the sky, what medium it's in, anything about it. So it's not good to assume shit.
Everything else is magic. Got it.
Why would you assume when you have no fucking clue?
It doesn't work like that.
Can I just comment one point on this, which is the problem you've got with that percentage is you now have no reason to believe that just because it happened once, it would happen again. That's your problem. And that's why you're not worth talking to. That's the whole issue.
What are you talking about? You're trying to equate
reject inference.
No, you're trying to equate inference with causation. That's not the case at all.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, that's not. They're not the same thing.
You're basically rejecting the inference that we have continuity in nature. That's what you're doing.
That's not an inference.
It is an inference.
The law of causation is not an inference.
It is an inference.
No, you're tripping.
No. The fact
cause
that
and effect is not an inference.
No, the fact that if I do the same thing twice, the same outcome will happen. Or if I have the same chemical reaction twice, the same outcome will happen. That's what you're rejecting. That's
proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
When did you test the sun once?
It's unreasonable to think that it would be different. So if you want to call it inference, that's on you.
But if
it's proof beyond reasonable doubt.
If you want to bring that up, then mass spectrometry is admissible in courts of law. So
why are you bringing a legal doctrine into a science debate?
Let me show you.
You know what else is admissible in courts of law?
I'll give you one example.
Testimony. Witness testimony is admissible in courts of law. It's not admissible to the court of flat Earth.
Let me ask him one question, bro, and then you can continue.
No,
Take a sphere, insulated, put something inside. I'll set it on fire, right? We'll put it, let's say, a few miles away, and you use your mass spectrometer and tell me what's inside of that sphere. You think you can do it?
No, I have no idea how to use the tool. I'll get someone who is actually competent to do it.
Do you think anybody can do it?
I don't know.
You know. And that is exactly as what percentage is
I know
trying
the
to tell
fact that
you.
if I've
You're
got a burning
inferring
fire,
that you know, but you don't know.
One second, actually, let me respond. So I know for the fact if I've got just a normal burning fire, I can use a mass spectrometer to look at that light, and I can then try and gauge what kind of elements are burning there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I know that we can point it at other things, and we get that kind of result back. I've seen enough anecdotal evidence to make me feel pretty confident that that's a good inference.
We're not interested in anecdotal evidence.
Well, I haven't done it personally, so that's all I've got. Have you?
No, but do you understand what
you done
my
it personally?
example? Do you understand what percentage is telling you? You don't know. You could infer all you want.
Yeah.
But you just don't know. And your tool, I just dismantled it with one example.
But I'll tell you the problem. Can I explain the problem with your position, if I may? The problem that you have is if you reject inference, which is what a lot of the shit that we do is based on, then you're rejecting some pretty fundamental things that we have continuity in nature, not just causation, but continuity in nature, i.e. the laws of physics are reasonably consistent. The laws in chemistry are reasonably consistent.
We don't reject inference. It's just not proof. It's not definitive proof. That's all we're saying.
I'm not just trying to amalgamate inference in definitive proof, then we have no issue. But he's trying to say that inference is a law of causation. How does that make sense?
Exactly. He didn't say that.
He said causation is an inference.
Yep. That's where you made your mistake right there.
For us in the moment it is, because we don't know. We believe it's going to happen. We infer it's going to happen based on what's happened in the past.
No, we know it's going to happen beyond reasonable doubt. Okay,
you're trying to
if you never call it an inference when it's proven. If it's proven beyond reasonable doubt, it's not necessarily an inference. Unless if you're saying it is an inference, then you have the same definition for them. Then we can agree on that.
How would you know if
you need to define inference right now?
Yes. How do you know if you've never done it?
Is the prediction of the future based on the
Bruce,
past?
Did you not hear Chai?
Can it ever be proof beyond reasonable doubt?
He wants to ask
you light the match. You light the match, it burns. How do you know it would light everywhere?
Foolish.
Unless you tested it. What's reasonable doubt?
I'm not asking.
May not work in some places.
Unfortunately.
No, I'm trying not to dominate this. I've said a fair amount. I think I've made my point
I
very,
asked you a
very
specific
clearly.
question. I asked you specifically.
I don't think that you've actually rebutted the point that I'm putting forward at all, because you're being inconsistent in your position.
Is inference ever proof beyond reasonable doubt?
Is inference? I don't know what you mean by
when you infer something. Can you infer something to be a proof beyond reasonable doubt?
Again, I don't know what you mean by reasonable doubt.
Louise.
Oh, come on. You know what
No,
he means.
I really
Russ.
don't, because his reasonable doubt seems to change from it's kind of okay, I accept it, to
Trust, you're lying. You're lying.
No, I really am not lying.
You're using old-fashioned debate techniques.
No, I'm not.
To get you off the hook.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're using words like inference. Do you know what the Fabian Society is? The Bullingdon Club.
No.
What the fuck are you bringing this shit up for?
No,
Nobody cares.
that's debate techniques.
I'm very curious about the application of a legal standard of proof
You don't know what
into
the Bullingdon
science.
Club is, Strauss.
No.
You don't know that there's a political cult in your country.
I'm not really something I'm.
Could Merle infer this? Yes.
He could, yeah.
And would it make it true?
But no.
That's what Foolish was asking you. What about beyond reasonable doubt?
I mean, again, it's about the amount of evidence. So I'd look at the number of times we've observed something in the past, validated it, and go, yeah, it's a reasonable conclusion. That's kind of my, what happens in the past allows us to predict the future.
There you go, percent.
Well, see these guys, Dross. Like, there's your Prime Minister and the next
David
one.
Cameron used to be them. Oh, I know. Yeah, I've seen this picture before because Boris Johnson's down there as well. Yeah. No, I've seen the picture before. Didn't know that was the Bullingdon Club. Don't really care. Yeah, so it's an Oxford Club.
Do you know
Club.
these guys, the wolf in sheep's clothing, are behind the Globe deception?
No, again, I'm not really interested, Mel.
You're not interested in history now either.
No,
it's just not fake history.
It's kind
not
of
fake history. That's an interesting one.
Well,
I'm not interested in cringe.
It's contemporary history. I'm not really very.
You're not interested in a worldwide deception run by a political elite class of the rich.
I've heard many different versions of that story, and I've seen very little evidence to support it.
That's another lie. So now I've exposed that you're a liar. Are you going to double and triple down and make out that you're not lying now?
Fuck you for being a dishonest piece of shit, Merle. You just won't accept anything, and when we try to provide shit, you just you're not providing anything. So go fuck off, Merle.
Because all you have is words and old debate techniques, and you think that hiding in Discord is going to get you guys off the hook. The Globe is the lie. It's not my fault.
Merle's a liar. Yep, we know that Merle's a liar.
It's not my
so he
fault.
can go fuck off.
You can go fuck
Merle,
off.
fuck off, Merle.
You can go fuck off.
Where's the
dishonest piece of shit?
I think this actually gets to the root of what's the difference between ballers and flat earthers is the whole concept of reasonable doubt, because you guys have reasonable doubt where you think that it's okay to measure things between us and the sun and think that that's reasonable enough to conclude something, when flat earthers think that there's too much wiggle room. So I think reasonable doubt's actually a really big part of this.
Exactly.
Do you speak for every flat earther? Because there are flat earthers who do claim the distance to the sun, the size of the sun, and as Percentage has said, circuit that it's flowing.
This is how they do it. They're the architects. They're above. See the sphere? Them with the anvil and the blacksmiths and the lonely meek are down the bottom, all praying to the books. This is the psyop.
The stained glass window definitely proves
this is
your
real.
Proves
You
your
can
theory,
call me
Merle.
a moron.
I'm glad a stained glass window.
You're a moron and a
Is that a
retard.
practical
Yes.
demonstration, Merle?
Right.
No, this
Where's
is
your prime
definitely
demonstration,
admissible
Merle?
evidence in
That's
court.
just a picture.
I'm presenting facts.
Hey,
How this
provide
picture
me a
from
practical
Earth is
demonstration,
flat?
Merle.
This is
So I'll
historical.
point out the first problem with Mel's evidence. That's a modern piece of stained glass. It's not old. The reason you can tell it's not old is because it's in modern English at the top there. He's a
This is the
fucking idiot.
psyop. This is the psyop. And you'll
How does
deny it. But it's a fact.
It is a fact that you're retarded.
There are psychological operations that exist on the Earth. I'm not lying.
Like right
You're
now, they're
parti-
showing
you're
us the Mars
participating
landing, 2 minutes to landing, and it's all CGI. You guys watching this bull?
Thank you for your valuable input. Go away.
If anybody
They're in-
wants some water or crackers, we'll give you a call.
SE, this is one of the biggest displays I've ever seen in all the time I've been out here.
It's a repeat.
The obviousness of the
If you
psyop.
engaged honestly, then yeah, we'd fucking.
I am engaging honestly. Why don't you try to do?
Piece of shit!
Why don't
You
you try
just
to do it?
denied fucking everything and say
You
that our
guys
shit's
are
not good
like
enough without
crying
providing
babies
any
on the
reason.
floor in nappies
Any
right
reason, Merle. You just say, no, that's not good enough. You don't
sit
say
before
why.
the
You
masters
just say it's
of
not good
truth
enough.
right now. You have no
Because you're a piece
even
of
place
shit,
to
Merle.
speak.
All of you are just
Stand
dishonest
on
pieces of
truth
shit.
like
That's all
the
you are,
rest of
Merle.
us, and you'll not be so
Yeah,
obvious.
yeah. I'll just fall into being a dishonest piece of shit all the time. That's
Why
what
does
you
this
want
guy
me to
hate
do,
you
Merle?
so much?
That's what it sounds like, Merle.
Because he's
You just want
scared
me to
of the
be a
truth.
dishonest piece of shit like the rest of the flat earthers.
You're scared of the truth. I'm just getting to know the enemy, right? That's how it works. It's a psychological operation. Some of us are here to expose it. You've been exposed.
How does it feel to be permanently retarded? Huh?
Your brain is your biggest enemy.
Too much truth, guys, eh? These
Yeah,
things,
that's it.
These things exist. You can deny them. The globe is
Oh,
a small
you see
part
the
of the
picture?
deception.
These things exist.
Yeah,
Here's the
they
picture.
do. They
Black and
actually
white.
do exist.
What did we see?
It's not CGI.
What did we see?
That secret societies.
How do you know it's secret? You
Deceptions.
see the picture. What's secret about it?
If there was a secret, we wouldn't know about it, Merle.
God, you guys are stupid.
But Merle's a super
We're
sleuth.
stupid now.
Yeah, you are.
Because usually you get pictures from secret societies because they don't want you to know about them.
You didn't know about them, and you don't know about them.
Look.
What do you know about it, Cheeky?
Well,
your
they'll
brain
never
is
get
your
all of this.
biggest
This is why I say.
What do you know about it, Cheeky?
Well, this is why I say the flat Earth is the biggest lie. Once they get the flat Earth, that all of what you're saying, they'll understand it straight away.
I was never lying to you guys.
Right now,
This
they're
is
just like
being dishonest with yourself. That's all.
they just think that's way too much. That's way too much, man. A dark underworld behind the scenes that are trying to kill them. They're gonna freak out, man. They believed you now. What do you think they would react like?
I'm sorry, Spurs. Just sometimes it gets the patience.
No worry, Kimo. We're not going to
much.
get him.
You gotta think of it, Mel. You got half agent cults and half real people. So you just you can't really point fingers because you'll never know who the workers are and who the real like.
In my opinion, you're the agent.
So I'm interested in why Mel's got such a downer on Edward Pease, the founder of the Fabian Society.
But you destroy this globe, Mel. I'm telling you, they'll be seeking all of this information and more.
I hope so.
Definitely. It won't
It
stop.
gets way more interesting.
What is the?
Gets pretty
what is-
dark too.
Can y'all do a recap? I don't know what y'all are arguing about.
The Fabian Society, which is
Not
a
really. We
socialist
were just
movement
talking
in the UK.
about what the sun is, David. Leia was debating percent, but I don't know where that got to.
Well, they say that the sun's putting off heat, but when you go to the top of the mountain, it's not hot up there for some reason. Could somebody please explain that?
Well, how do you explain the sunsets, David? That's what Chris's question was.
Well, you just exchange the sun for an airplane on your horizon and watch how that airplane rises up above you and then goes back down as it passes by you. That would be my.
There you go, Chris.
Perspective. You just said perspective.
You know that these answers are always obvious, Chemo. I don't know why you act like they're not.
I know, but it's for their benefit.
There's a bit of a problem with that assumption, Dallas.
Please explain. You can't get an airplane high enough to match the arc?
Well, one, why would it arc? Two, yeah, you don't have it high enough, right? And lastly, you've got that problem. the lack of a horizon.
You know how there's been airplane pilots in here that used to explain to us that a plane in the distance could look like it was below him, but it was actually above him, and that he would have that you can't fly a plane on visuality of what you're seeing, because in the distance that plane which is actually above him is looking like it's below him on the horizon. So it would be the same phenomenon as the sun does as you're standing on the earth. You wouldn't agree with that?
Apples to zebras and coming out with the number 4. No. You're trying to change the vantage point.
So the sun is a vantage point.
You're on Earth. Your vantage point is on Earth.
It's a vantage point observation is what I'd call it, wouldn't you?
So if you're trying to, again, place it in perspective. Now, with your example on the airplanes being level with each other or whatever, are you saying that the sun is level with the Earth? Because then you got problems on that one too. So I'm taking that's a no. So
what I just said is that plane will be below him.
Yeah, if it's straight ahead of him, according
in reality, if that plane keeps at the same level, it will fly above him and pass him above him.
I got what you're saying, but you still run into that problem. Are you saying that the sun is in line with the Earth? If not, then that's a moot point.
No, it's about the trajectory of the sun and perspective. If you take the trajectory of the sun, which is east to west, above your head, and you take that same airplane's trajectory.
It's not east to west. Try again.
Well, whatever.
Remember, it's doing a circle over your head. There's no east to west.
No one ever sees a circle above your head.
Yet somehow
you
that's
see it go in one direction. Either it'll some parts of the year it'll be south of you somewhat, where you have to look south for it to go east to west on you, and in the wintertime you have to look north.
Yep, that doesn't make any sense either.
Well, it sets north. Put it that way.
That's the same thing. Same exact. Yeah, north. Which way? Directly north.
Yeah, in the summertime, that's how it goes up there towards Alaska. So you see it go up there, and then you have this 24-hour sun, which you guys can't explain. You have no explanation. You have no explanation for the 24-hour sun because nobody's ever followed the 24-hour sun around its path on the Earth, where you could see it from all vantage points all day, every day for 24 hours a day for 24 days.
So you're getting 24. You're getting a sun that's going in a ring over there near Alaska, and I assume Russia.
So we're told it goes in a ring. We have we don't have. It's in a ring from where you're standing at, but for where it's being seen from a ring can only be seen in 2 places on Earth. So your proof of this 24-hour sun, and you can see it all across the northern hemisphere or in the North Pole, has never been proven. So that's another one of your assumptions that has never been proven by any man you know, or anybody that you've ever met, or anybody that they ever met. You understand?
I don't understand your point addressed to me that way, but I've already said this. The claim was by a flat earther and several flat earthers, again and time again, that the sun is circling overhead 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year.
We don't know. That may be, no one knows, because no one's ever followed the sun around the world.
But yet somehow that's still the claim, and I have yet to find a flat earther that's going to dispute that until now. So Dallas, are you claiming that the sun does not complete a circuit above everybody's head in one 24-hour time period?
Well, everybody that's mapped on this Earth that we have acknowledgement of, the sun goes east to west where they're at.
How is that possible on a flat Earth?
Well, because everybody could be, the sun could be going past everybody east and west.
You're really not answering that. Are you saying that what?
Well, how do you know? How do you, with your scenario, there has to be another side of the ball.
I didn't say anything about balls.
You got to have two sides to your ball for this theory that you're wanting to claim.
I'm not a glober, so that argument doesn't fly with me.
Well,
try again.
So what's your point? You have no point. If you're a flat earther, then you should have an opinion.
I'm not a flat earther either. So I don't know where you're.
Well, then you're what? A concave earther?
No.
So what's your deal? Are you like a eunuch or something?
Sure, let's go with that. Why not?
No, he's unique.
What?
I think my 5 children would disagree with you, but go ahead.
He wants to know what kind of earther are you?
Yeah.
Why would I? Well, I'm an earther. How about that? Just an earther. We'll go with that.
Yeah. What is the shape of the Earth in your reality?
What's the shape of it for everybody else's reality?
The shape of the Earth? Well, flat's not a shape. We just know that the surface.
It's flat. That's what everybody's reality is. If you go past it being flat, then you're imagining something. You know what I'm saying? So you have to bring your imagination into.
I like how Dallas just ran over your attempts to get away with that. That was funny.
Chemo doesn't worry about me. He knows I can handle my own self over here.
No, it was just funny because he was going to say it's not flat. Flat's just an aspect to a shape, probably. But you went off and said that flat is a shape, and that's the Earth. The shape of the Earth is flat.
As far as we know, as far as we can go in any direction, it's flat.
Okay.
If I start walking, if I could walk 100,000 miles in one direction, it'd be flat all the way for 100,000 miles.
5,000 miles. Can I make a point here about that, David? If you could walk from the United States to, let's say, Australia, you could walk on water. You would never flip up. You would stay on the same surface of the water all the way there. You would stay upright. You wouldn't flip over.
I want to see one proof that you could go one direction and get back to where you started. Let's see somebody just do that in any direction. You guys have all these stories with no proof. There's not even proof you could go one direction and get back to where you started. Do you realize how bad you are on believing bullshit, and how brainwashed you are, that there's absolutely no proof you could go one direction and get back where you started from? How do you like them? How do you like them apples? Does that make you feel? How does it make you feel, man? That you believe all this stuff and you can't even prove that you could go one way and get back to where you started.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. David.
We got a claim on the table. We got a claim on the table.
David, go to Wolfie 6020, and he did this path. He went from Australia to South America, South Africa, and back to Australia. One way.
It's like when they went around the world.
One way, David. Just what you wanted.
Let me give you a perfect example of how you go around the world. You know what you do? You fly from North America and down around and kind of cross over Antarctica and just come back the same way you went.
They did it too.
You know what I'm saying?
They did it too.
David, why are you running away from the fact that I just said? If you living in Texas, right? If you were to walk on the ocean all the way to Antarctica or all the way to Australia,
I agree with you. You'd be right side up. I understand. You'd never be upside down.
That's my statement, David. Quit interrupting me. If you walked on the water all the way to Australia, you would not end up in Australia walking on your hands. You would still be walking on your feet all the way to Australia. You would be upright. You don't flip over because you're on the opposite side of, or supposedly on the bottom of the ball. You stay on the same side.
All right, Chris defeated me on that one. Go ahead, Chemo.
I didn't say anything.
Chemo, would you agree with my statement?
All right, so we're all in agreement of everything we were just talking about, right? Are we in a non-agreement about anything? Even me and Chris agree that you'll be standing straight up on your feet when you get to Australia if you walk there. The only problem is he thinks you walk around a ball, and I'm saying that you're going to walk on a flat, level plane all the way there.
My point in saying that is on a sphere. You guys claim that it's upside down to Australia. My point was that if you walked on water all the way there, you would end up staying the same way upright.
You got to remember the Arctic Ocean, which is the North Pole, was not even. They never even went in there till like 1958.
Perfect. I don't care about that.
You guys act like the Arctic Ocean, in the past, and the crossing of the Arctic Ocean from America to Russia has happened. Why don't you show us the first time that Americans crossed the Arctic Ocean and land in Russia for the first time? That would have been like a major feat. Even in an airplane, you could see it. Couldn't you see the headline now? Americans cross Arctic Ocean for first time and land in Russia. I mean, that would be a newspaper article that everybody think you're in 1922, right? The plane has just come out. I mean, we can fly around the world. We're the most powerful country in the world. We're gonna fly to Russia and meet up with Stalin, right?